which are the key competencies which are most important for sustainable development? Which ones are crucial in higher education? So should there be kind of a meta model for it that brings all of them together, or can we maybe go into different competence models that we refer to then later on in our practice here?
First of all, I would argue that, let me start saying that during the last month we discussed almost the same questions also with colleagues from different parts from the world. For example, Harold Glasser from Western Michigan University, United States, and also Stephen Sterling from Plymouth University, and we discussed exactly the same question and noticed that all these different approaches dealing with sustainability competencies have different focuses. So, for example, Arnim Wieck and others, they focus on sustainability competencies in the context of sustainability science. Other concepts, for example, the one I created in my Delphi study, is more dealing with general competencies for all individuals, not necessarily linked to sustainability science. Other concepts, for example, like the German one from Gerhard de Haan, is focusing on school education, etc., etc. So I think, first of all, when we try to compare and work with these different concepts, we have really to notice that they have been developed for different educational levels, different disciplines. Some are more like academic competencies, others are more general competencies for all individuals, not depending on if they study or do not study at a university. So I think, first of all, when we try to structure the whole debate, we have to take into account these different focuses and levels. And so therefore, I would also argue when someone wants to include these competencies in teaching, I think, first of all, it makes also sense to look for concepts that have been developed, for example, for sustainability science, or I mean, there are other concepts which have been developed for engineering education or geography education. So I think on the one hand, it makes sense also to look for concepts that have been developed particularly for that teaching context. On the other hand, also to answer your question, I would always argue that I don't think that really one unique profile, meta profile is needed. But anyway, I think it would help to further structure a little bit the debate, and that is also something we had discussed and we are still discussing with colleagues from the United States, United Kingdom, but also like Professor Ian Thomas from Australia, who is also very interested in that debate. And we are planning more or less a joint project for the next year in which we would like to have some meetings and some discussion in order to explore more the common ground of all these competencies. And I am not sure if we will come up with a meta profile, meta concept, but somehow I think it would help to structure any further the debate. On the other hand, I would also support an idea which Sandra, who asked the question, is also stating in one of her articles recently published in Gaia, where they say that constructive alignment is really important. So we have to look for coherence between the intended competencies, the teaching learning methods, and the assessment. So, and that is what I also said just some minutes ago when I said we cannot develop all competencies in one course, in one learning setting. We always have to look for what is the specific situation, which competencies could or should be developed in that context, in that course of particular study program, and then this intended learning outcomes should be linked to adequate methods and also adequate assessment, as also Jim said before. I mean, also exams might be helpful, but if we want to assess other not so much cognitive competencies, then we also need other ways of assessing learning outcomes. So I think that is at least my way of trying to answer the question Sandra sent us.